Hi, everyone. It is Carol from Lily Rose Blue. I hope this finds you well and watching lots of thrifting and junk journaling videos. I have another haul here. This is kind of part two of my video that I recorded on December 30th. A few more things to show you. And this is from actually three different places. I will also say some sad, disappointing news. The disappointing news was I purposefully set out on a trip to go to a couple of a resale store as well as an antique store that I just love. The resale store was closed the week between Christmas and New Year's. So good for them. I totally understand. It just was a bummer for me because because of their hours, they're only open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and only from like 10 to 4. I just can't get there any other day other than Saturday, and sometimes that can be a bit of a chore. So anyway, that was closed, so I was a little bummed. Then I headed down the road another 10 or 15 miles to find that they were hauling merchandise out of one of my favorite antique stores, and it is closing. Oh, that's heartbreaking. You know what? I'm sure it's a 10,000 more percent heartbreaking for all those vendors and the owner of that antique business. But gosh darn, was I sad. I really was. I really was sad. But nevertheless, it gave me time to stop at another place that I hadn't been to for a while. So that's the blessing, right? The silver lining. So the same store that I got all of those postcards from is where I got these items from. So here is a little book called The Very Best of Friends. And it is a little Whitman book by Steffi Fletcher, illustrated by Carl and Mary Haug. And I just thought the illustrations were wonderful. And I'm gonna make a new phrase. I'm gonna Pam Van Nee this book, and add some more, take it apart, add some pages, put it back together again, because it's just so cute. Look at that cow. I just think it's so cute. Then he took the milk home and he drank it for breakfast from Mrs. Cow. Roller skating, a goat, cow, goat, and a horse, chicken. I was gonna almost said rooster, and then I saw the eggs, and I'm like, nope, that cannot be a rooster. So the boy's playing with his hoop here, and runs into Mrs. Hen and gets some chickens from her. And then he meets this horse, and he rides the horse, and they gallop round and round. And then he has all of these new friends, and he brings them some food. I just thought that was very cute. So speaking of animals, you guys, I have a soft heart for animals. I met a woodle today outside of a store called Groot. Adorable, the most gorgeous reddish brown coat. And so a woodle is a cross between a Wheaten Terrier and a poodle. So as its owner said, kind of double hypoallergenic. He was so sweet. He loved up on me, turned around and sat on my foot, which with a dog is a mark that they like you and they're happy. And I stood there and petted him and talked to his owner for quite a while. Mr. Woodle, Mr. Groot, was from Colorado, and they were here singing one set of parents that live in a nearby town when I ran into them. So that was fun, and it sure got me thinking about wanting a dog again. And Groot was certainly adorable. Not as big as a golden doodle, but not too small. Right about 35 pounds, and he was about that long, and about higher than what I can show you, but kind of a really nice size. So anyway, that's my story about Groot the Woodle. So Alaskan Airlines timetable. I didn't realize that there were two here, but that's okay. So look at this graphic, and I don't know if I've talked about this, so you may or may not know, but part of my job is interacting with the state of Alaska, public health. And so I've heard of some of these towns. I know about lots of the logistical issues that they live with in Alaska to this day. And just thought I'd share this, and I loved it. Look at these timetables. What a great junk journal page this will make. Mush to the Arctic this winter, and there you've got some native Alaskans and some beautiful dogs. More flights and timetables. I have not yet found a date on this. I've tried, and I just could not find it. And this, I think, is this is the exact same thing. Then I found a golden book that I had not seen before. 10 Little Animals. And aren't they all adorable? Has some coloring on it. This is the third printing from 1972. The original copyright is 1961. Look at these animals. I am also going to plan to Pam Van E this golden book. Look at them all yawn, their teeth. Just thought this was a great book. There were also quite a few golden books at this store. And I did look through every one of them, and I did put several back. And a lot of them had Nancy H. Peachy collection, purchased at the Hutchinson Flea, date February, I think that's a 6, 1994. So there's that book. Where is the Bear? Also not a golden book that I'd seen before. Original copyright looks like 1967, and this reprint was from 1978. They're looking at tracks. There's a bear, a blue jay, beaver. Looks like they're getting ready to ice skate. Beautiful fox, squirrel, covered bridge with some trout, cows with a frog, and a caterpillar right here, and a cow. And it says, and cows lie in barns and get fat. Okay. And some kids. Oh, they're holding that woolly caterpillar. And again, another book from Nancy Peachy. And there is the cat by the fire, where it's cozy and drier, has the best winter home of them all. This is Baby Farm Animals. I think I've seen another version of this, and I might even have one, but the cover is different than what I have. So I decided to get this. The cover is different. Again, has some coloring on it, but that's okay. It says Grecian. little baby horse. So this copyright is 1958. Oh, I'm sorry, original 1953, and this says 1958. So there's a baby lamb, some kittens with a poppy. Oh, love it. Bunny, guinea pigs, a baby donkey. I'm going to pull up my sleeve because it feels like it's in the way. Some baby ducks and baby chicks, piglets. The illustrations and the color I just love. Look at the puppies chewing on the shoe. Some baby goats, baby cygnets and baby goslings, baby horse. Unfortunately, baby horse has some coloring on it, which makes me a little sad, but another baby pony that's going to take that kitten and puppy for a ride. And look at that baby calf who says moo. Where is Mother Cow? It is time for lunch. So I got that. Excuse me. A Jingle Bells Golden Book, which again, I don't think I have this one. And this is 49 cents. This one was 25. One of these is 39. Another one is 59. So it kind of helps age them, I think, too. This is Jingle Bells, a new story by Kathleen Daly, based on the traditional Christmas carol. Pictures by J.P. Miller. This is the 7th printing, 1976, with the original copyright of 1964. So again, some very pretty pictures. The snow is blowing. Oh, and there's Santa with some toys that have fallen out of his pack. All of a sudden, my fingers don't want to work. And there's Santa. Oh, there's a feast with Santa and Mrs. Santa and some animals. And the animals are helping decorate the tree. Look at the reindeer. And then this horse is pulling the sleigh with all these animals. Off they go. And then there's the song. So those are the golden books I got. This was, I did another quick stop at my local Goodwill. That's not far from me. This is the only thing I found that day, but it's okay. It's my very own fairy tale. And a fairy journal is one of the things on my list. This is written by Maya Haig and illustrated by Joyce Patty. Yes, this first book, first page is torn. This book was made especially for Neela Genser, who arrived on April 11th, 2012. Welcome to the world with love from some Cosmina, Aaron, Minabelle, and somebody. So unfortunately, this is torn and that it was given away, but look at this gorgeous fairy. So the colors and illustrations in this book are fabulous. Look at the berries. And I know this is glaring a little bit. So here is Nepeta Fairy. N.E. English Daisy Fairy. Nell. This is the Lingonberry Fairy. Nellie. The Exia Fairy. Nellia. The Azalea Fairy. Some other pictures. Looks like the crown. The Gooseberry Fairy. Then, oops, I skipped a page. Sorry, guys. The Amelia Fairy. She's a little flapper fairy. The Northland Berry Fairy. The English Lavender Fairy. The Strawberry Fairy. Oh, it's so fun. The Evening Primrose Fairy. Some other pictures. And then look at that. These can all be tags, so there's even more. Poppy, sunflower, tayberry, thistleberry, tulip, umbrella, ursinia, slipper, rosemary, rose, raspberry, Queen Anne's lace, petunia, New Zealand flax, olive, orange, orchid, pansy, mulberry, marionberry. We saw the lingonberry. This is loganberry, lily, coquilla, and kingfisher daisy. So I just thought that was unique, and I wanted to get it. And then there is, in between two towns that are near to me, out in the country, kind of in Amish territory, there is a place called Sister's Garden. And there's two buildings, and they have merchandise, both vintage, I shouldn't say both, new merchandise, vintage merchandise, and antiques interspersed throughout, and also a large collection of things that they keep outdoors that is strewn between the two buildings. And it's just a fun, gorgeous place. And so this was the silver lining, is that I got to stop at Sister's Garden after I found out that that antique store was closed. And I ran into a friend, a coworker there. She works in a different division than I do. We have a rather large department. And I've seen her on Zoom for the last 3 years, but I had not seen her in person. So it was wonderful to run into her, and we got to chat a little bit, and we did some shopping together then. So I found these 3 keys. They had a lot of different vintage keys. I got these because they were a little bit smaller. She had, the gal who runs Sisters had some big different flashcards, both words and math flashcards, but they were really big, super cool. But I decided to pass on them because I just thought they were a little bit large. I might regret it later. I left a really cool ornate picture frame there too. Who knows? I may go back and get it. She had a very large collection of these flashcards. So I got an apple, a duck, fire, and paper. I got these bingo cards that were there. Very fun. This is a really cool book. The Log Duplex Decitrig slide rule book, a manual. It's way beyond my comprehension. Let me tell you that. The paper is wonderful. Let's see if we can find. I think when I looked before, I did not find a year. Oh, here we are, 1943. Look at this slide rule, front and reverse face. So cool. Also, like I said, way beyond anything I could ever do. But the graphics in this book are just fabulous. So it gives you some ideas. There is some handwriting in here. Wow. Very cool book. And inside this book, here is my bonus. Dr. Guy A. Lott, some blank prescriptions from Osage, Iowa. Very cool. It's probably going to get scanned and saved for something in the future. Also, a vintage Iowa map. If you flip it over, this is previous Governor Branstad. He looks very young here. Branstad was our governor 2 different times, and ended up being an ambassador to China under Donald Trump. And Terry Branstad is now in his 70s. So, this has got some age to it, maybe from the 70s. So, how on one side of the map you have different cities, Des Moines, Sioux City, and then you have, of course, the map. And again, I'm not going to open it all up, but Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Davenport, this is the Mississippi River. There's Dubuque, Waterloo, Des Moines. I guess I am going to open it all the way up and move it over. Here's the Missouri River, and here is Nebraska, and there's Omaha. So that is my thrifting stash for this day. I thank you so much for watching and wish you all the best, and take care. Hit like, hit subscribe. Also, look up all the participants and Turquoise Dreaming, Sheree's Thrifty Thursday. Check them all out. Everybody take care, and we'll see you again later. Bye-bye.